Hello everyone, welcome back to Surrey Studios, and we're going to be talking about gifts with purchases today. Now, a lot of this information I want to give a shout out to Tips and Bricks. If you don't follow them on Instagram, you really should, because they give a lot of good advice on building mocks, building techniques, whether they're legal or illegal, and they just have a lot of great content. Go follow them on Instagram, they're really great people, good stuff. Anyway, so GWPs, gifts with purchases, have they been going up in price the last couple of years? And when I say price, I mean the threshold that you need to get in order to get a gift with purchase. For example, the moving truck and all this stuff, the Baru, Lars Family Homestead Kitchen, any of this stuff. These sets are technically for free if you make a certain price point when you go to the Lego store or buy online. So you could be like, okay, if you spend over $100 in any Lego, or maybe it's over $100 in Star Wars brand or whatever it is, then you can get this gift with purchase on the side. And the question is, how have those been comparing recently to, let's say, 2020 to today, and how much you have to spend in order to get a gift with purchase, and is it worth it? Just to start off, recently in 2022, the average cost of a gift with purchase, aka the threshold that you'd have to reach in order to get one, was $136. The average cost of 2023, and although 2023 isn't over yet, the average threshold here is $143, so it's just a slight increase. But it's relatively small in comparison to the recent increase in inflation. I mean, like with Lego increasing their prices of sets within this past year, 136 to 143 isn't really that big of a jump. But over the last 4 years, of 2020 to 2023, it is interesting to note that in the years 2020 and 2021, there are very few gift with purchases in which you had to meet over $100 in order to obtain one. Most of them were under $100 threshold. Tips and Bricks did a little graph, and they said there are 4 ways to determine the value of GWPs, and the first one is part count. The second one is weight of parts, which is actually something I don't usually do. I don't usually weigh my sets to determine value, but it's a really smart way to do it because, as I've talked about in past videos, such as price per piece, and the misconceptions behind that, and how we actually price that out, how Lego actually prices that out based on different themes. The parts are sometimes misleading, because if you get a set that's a lot of studs, so like maybe the mosaics, it's a high piece count, but it's not really that expensive because a lot of the parts are small, versus the whole UCS Star Destroyer debacle. When that first came out, people were saying, well, the price per piece is way off, but if you look at the Star Destroyer, it's really big, it's really heavy, the pieces are just bigger. Although the piece count number looks low, the weight itself, you're getting the value of the money. The third way was Lego's value, according to the Lego archive, or how Lego would price out these sets. And the fourth is aftermarket value, if you wanted to buy these sets still sealed, maybe on eBay, on Bricklink, on a secondhand store. So the part count average in the year 2020, the GWPs were around the low 200s. In 2021, it was around 200, so it actually went lower. It was actually a decrease in parts. Then in 2022, it was in the mid 200s, and then 2023, high 200s. So in the past 3 years, we have seen a general increase in amount of pieces in each GWP. Our weight averages, this has remained fairly consistent, going up slightly. So in 2020, it was around 260-ish ounces, I believe that was the measurement, and then 2021, 260-ish, and then 2022, 275 around that area, 2023, still around 275. So the weight, once again, still going up a little bit, but just not as much. Lego's value average in 2020, they're around $18. US dollars, that is. In 2021, $18 again. 2022, around $19, and then 2023, $21. So at least Lego has been up in the, I guess, sort of estimated price of what these would cost if you were to just buy them in a store. So that's good. Aftermarket for GWPs, which is interesting because I was looking at the statistics, the average sell-ins on Bricklink for the last several months, it seems that most of the individual, if you were to track individual GWPs, as they continue to be out, unlike a lot of Lego sets, as time goes on, it seems like the price sort of drops, which kind of makes sense because it almost feels like if you want one of these sets, you're going to instantly go out and get one, during the GWP sale at a Lego store location or online. If you miss out, then you can just buy one instantly on Bricklink. But then as the years go by, or as just the months go by, it seems to be a lack of demand on these because they are just GWPs, they're not necessarily themed. Some of them are Star Wars themed, such as the Lars Family Homestead Kitchen. Some of them are connect with modular buildings or whatnot. So, that was interesting to note that, you could get them potentially for cheaper if you just waited several months after they stopped releasing them. Just a couple of the heavy hitters. The Blacktron Cruiser, 356 pieces, was averaging selling around $40.32. The Lars Family Homestead Kitchen, 195 pieces, $38.34. The Bionicle gift with purchase, which I didn't even realize that they had that in the past 4 years, but 219 pieces, $37.38. And the tribute to the Lego House, 583 pieces, that's a whopper, with $24.08. On average in 2022, they were selling for around $23.96. On average for 2023, $28.73. So still under that $30 range if you wanted to get a gift with purchase. I mean, if you're really just going out of your way to spend $150 on Lego, just get a gift with purchase, and you don't want to, you just want the gift with purchase, it seems like you only have to pay like $30 if you want that aftermarket sale, if you just want the gift with purchase, which is a lot cheaper than having to spend $150 on Lego that you may or may not want to get a gift with purchase, which is good to know. It is interesting that the frequency per year of GWPs is sort of going up. In 2020 it was 13, 2021 11, which is not a huge decrease, sort of like the same. 2022 we went up to 15, and so far in 2023 we're already at 12, and the year is maybe a little bit than half over, and it's predicted that there will be 18 by the end of this year. It's really cool to see that Lego is constantly pumping out more GWPs. That means more free Lego, more incentive to buy Lego. But if you collect GWPs, then that's a little bit tougher for you, because it might mean that you will be spending more on Lego throughout the year, or just finding them on aftermarket sites. But I like GWPs. Whenever GWPs are out, it's always nice because it's like, oh, I was planning on buying Lego anyway, and now I get this free little mini Lego set that I may or may not want to keep, and if I don't want it, I usually just scrap it for parts. So it's like, yeah, that's cool. Like this sailboat, that was probably one of my favorite GWPs in the last 4 years. Really love this. I still have it together, obviously. It's just a really good set. Now, overall, within this research, the Eiffel Tower GWP was not included because it's an outlier. It was for one set, which was the Eiffel Tower, and the price whole thresh was $650. So that would have skewed the statistics, or wasn't included. And then only GWPs that were available worldwide were also included in this research, and polybags as GWPs were not considered, because most of those are available in stores such as like the Polybag Hoff ATST Walker that came with the May 4th lineup this past year. So, that was included. Polybag not really count as a GWP if you can buy them elsewhere. So overall, it seems that GWP's thresholds have in fact been increasing in price. The reason why that isn't necessarily a bad thing though is because it seems that the parts, the weight have been increasing, and also the popularity of them. I mean, I've noticed that Lego have been putting a little bit more effort into their GWPs recently, and they actually seem more desirable. A lot of them are just like better design. They look like actual sets you could have. I love the Lego Ideas GWP lineup. Like this technically is a Lego Ideas set utilized as a GWP, but it's like really cool because it's like, oh, it's just like a cool mini sailboat that I could have bought for $20, and it's smart on Lego economic wise, because why sell this for $20 when you can require someone to pay $150 in Lego and then give that out for free? Yeah, there you go. And they might not have spent that money anyways. It's a win for Lego. It's kind of a win for whoever was going to spend $150 anyway, or maybe even just $130, spend extra $20, would have gotten it anyway if that was priced at $20. But something interesting to note is that you should probably just wait to buy sets after release day. Because if you're buying sets right on release day, usually Lego doesn't add in a gift with purchase. That would be losing money. You don't need incentive to buy sets on a release day, because most people do. And so if you wait to buy sets you really want past release day, wait till GWP comes up, you can get those easier, I guess. You won't be spending more copious amounts of money on Lego throughout the year if you just wait several months after a release date of some sets that you want, and then a GWP comes up and it's like, okay, now I can buy the sets I've always wanted, and I get some free Lego with that. This is specifically with the modular buildings, is that apparently a related GWP comes out around a month after the release date of a cool modular building. I can think of this with the Jazz Club. I think this set came out after the Jazz club or something like that. And you can see that there's a saxophone like mosaic here. It says to Jazz Club on this box. There's a jukebox and there's a piano. This obviously is matching sort of like along the same theme of the Jazz Club modular building, and this came out around a month after that release date. So if you want to get GWPs that sort of relate to your modular buildings, you should wait a month after that. Overall, I do want to say that I do think it's interesting that, you know, the thresholds continue to get more and more above 100 as the years go by, and if it's under 100, it's like 75 or 80. You don't see a lot of gift with purchases that are like $40 or $50 anymore, and if you do, those are more like outliers rather than the status quo. So seeing the gift with purchases continue to go up, maybe we should be time to just not get gift with purchases in stores or online, but maybe just wait and buy them in aftermarket, or maybe just, as I said before, wait to buy those big sets after release date and then get them when a gift with purchase comes out, because if you're gonna spend the money anyway, might as well do it when you can get some free Lego. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. This is Our Studios. Like, comment, and subscribe, please, and share this video with someone who thinks that will help them with their Lego journey. And as always, have a great day. See you on the next video. Peace out.